All right, so good morning. Welcome back from your weekend. Hopefully you had a good one. We're back at it again today in the world of AutoCAD, though most of what we're doing today is exactly the same thing we were doing last class. The difference is that I'm going to give you a project to work on that you're going to be in charge of what the floor plan looks like. So we're going to be drawing a floor plan again today, but it's not a scripted floor plan, draw this. It's now you're going to draw and or design a floor plan that's going to be part of your assignment 105. So I'm going to walk you through assignment 105, and then we'll start with exercise 118. I've gone ahead and I've pulled up the assignment 105 page. You guys got a handout that has all the same information on it, but there is a file that we're going to download from assignment 105 from the actual page. So that's under assignments, and then you go to the digital tools for designers spring 2018, and you can click on assignment 105. So for assignment 105, you're now the architect that was chosen to design a small, i.e. less than 1,000 square foot cabin that's going to be in Yosemite. So good news for you, you get to build in Yosemite, which is a national park that nobody would ever get to build in reality. But you get to, which is great. The reason that I picked this as a site is we're going to end up doing some collage work. Yosemite has lots and lots of photos that you can pick from. So there's a plethora of things for you to work with. If this was a real project, you as the architect would go out to the site and photograph the site and analyze the site and decide what was going to be happening there on a site visit. And as much as I would like to take all of you on a field trip to Yosemite, because that would be really fun, it's not exactly in the cards for this class for me to take you to Yosemite. So we're not going to do that, but we're going to do a virtual field trip by going there using the resources that we have available online. So a little bit more about this particular building that you're going to be designing. Like I said, it's less than 1,000 square feet. You're going to be doing a floor plan and 4 building elevations, so north, south, east, west elevations of that building. It's going to be sited in the Happy Isles section of Yosemite Valley. I'll show you where that is in a little bit, so it won't be a big surprise for you. Your program, you have 2 clients, a husband and a wife. They don't have any kids yet. They've requested the following for their cabin: 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. That area should encompass about 400 square feet. I'm trying to give you these as guidelines. A living space with a fireplace and windows that, quote, capture the site. That's about 200 square feet. A kitchen that's open to the living space of about 150 square feet, so it's not a particularly large chef kitchen or anything like that. Dining space of about 150 square feet or so, and your maximum square footage should be about 1,000 square feet. If you add all these numbers up, they equal 1,000. If you have a building that's 1,100 square feet, that's okay. If you have a building that's 900 square feet, that's okay. If you have a building that's 2,000 square feet, no, that's not going to work. Does that make sense? So we're looking for approximately here. In reality, if you were doing a project like this, you would actually have to calculate out square footage, and you would have to know, because there are certain restrictions on how much you could build in a given lot, based on the lot size potentially, or based on what coverage you have available to you, depending on what county you're in, etc., as part of the building envelope. For our purposes, we just round numbers approximate. It's not very big. So this is a small little cabin. There's a reason it's called a cabin in the first place. We're going to start today with part 2. We're going to evaluate this site, and I'm going to show you the site, and we'll talk about it in a little bit more detail. Let me scroll down here a little bit. Next thing, part 3, you're going to start today working on this. You're going to be drawing floor plans. I have a sample file that I'll let you download that has the site topography on it, so it has the hill that you're going to be building on. You're going to, the topography, by the way, is at 1 foot contour intervals, so every line represents 1 foot of elevation climb. I'll show you that in a little bit, so you don't have to worry about it too much. The overall site that I have drawn for you is 1,000 feet by 1,000 feet, so you've got plenty of space to site your building somewhere in that lot. Okay, but you have to, it's going to be much smaller than. You're going to draw the floor plan of your cabin. Ultimately, we're going to use line weights to distinguish features. We haven't talked about line weights just yet, so today what I want you to do is just concentrate on drawing the cabin. And we'll clean it up and make it look better later. So just draw that cabin. It should be detailed and show window and door locations, as well as kitchen and bathroom. We'll talk about how to bring in furniture and how to bring in things like toilets so that you don't have to draw the toilet, just have an idea of where it needs to go. Okay? Then ultimately we're going to be doing elevations of your cabin so we know what it looks like from the front and from the right and the left and the back so that we know that, and I'll walk you through how we're going to do that. Then we will assemble all of it together into one 24 by 36 inch drawing. So it'll be scaled. We'll show all 4 elevations and the floor plan in that 24 by 36 inch sheet of paper. We'll do a little bit of collage work potentially in Illustrator to touch those up, make them look a little bit better. Again, I'll walk you through all of these steps. So I'm not going to just hang you out and assume that you know how to do it. I will walk you through every one of these steps, but I like to at least walk through the assignment so you know what's coming. Important things as part of this assignment. You're going to give me a JPEG and a PDF posted online like normal, like you always do. I will grade those versions of your work. But as part of this assignment, you're actually going to have to print or plot the 24 by 36 inch sheet. And I do this on purpose because as you go forward in your careers here at school, you will have to print things in large format. You're going to have to be printing these kinds of drawings. So now's the time where you're going to actually learn how to do it. So I'll walk you through the steps for how to do it, and you'll have to go ahead and I believe the plotter in this room doesn't work anymore. Something happened and it broke. The one in the other room will work, and I'll walk you through that one, being able to print to that. Plotting is finicky. It doesn't always work the way you think it should. It doesn't always go smoothly. So don't try to do it the morning before this is due, because it won't work. Okay? Give yourself some time. Try to do it, the class before, the week before. Give yourself time. That's important. Even if you end up making some changes, it's okay. I just want the printed version for you to have that experience. So don't wait until the morning before it's due. It is going to be due on May 2nd. So we've got a little bit of time. Unlike some of the other assignments where it's like a week turnaround, we've got some time here. So it's due on 5/2. You need to turn in the printed version as well as the online version. You will need to comment on 3 of your fellow students' work. That should be pretty automatic by this point. Are there any questions about the assignment? Not about the actual location or any of that. We'll talk about that more later. But just in terms of the concept, what you're doing? No? Okay, good. So let's talk a little bit more about the program and the site of this particular building. Down here at the bottom, I have download zip file of site information. If you click on that, it'll download a zip file. You'll need to look at it by showing it in your folder. There's the zip file. And then you'll want to extract this zip file. So you'll right-click on it, and you'll say Extract All, and that'll extract the zip file. Inside this zip file, right here, you'll see 2 things. One is an AutoCAD DWG file. That's your AutoCAD file that we're going to base our floor plan on, and we'll start drawing with today. The other thing is a Google Earth Pro location. And I did this as a way of letting you explore the site a bit today. So if you double-click this Google Earth Pro, it should open up Google Earth. And it's going to zoom us in to our building site. There we go. So I'm going to zoom back a little bit. We see the building site there, but I'm going to zoom back just a little bit so we get a better context here. So right here, is down in Yosemite Valley. So all of this is Yosemite Valley down in here. I picked this site. It's kind of nestled. There's a creek that runs through right there. The creek runs through our site. If I flip this view around a little bit, we might be able to get a better sense of Yosemite. Anybody been to Yosemite before? Few of you? If you haven't been, not a bad place to go. So this here, if I zoom down in here, there's our building site. It shows like a little barn that's over here. You can pretend that that barn isn't there. Furthermore, there is the kind of this trail road that goes there. I'm not overly concerned with where that is. We'll move it around your building as you go to site it. This here is the creek that goes through. It's a fairly wooded site, but I'm not going to be strict about if you want to cut down some trees, no big deal. So if we were to zoom out just a bit, so there we are down at the building site. If we were to zoom out a little bit and take a look at our views, let me see if I can hand this out. Oops. We'd be looking down and across the valley here. There you go, like that. So we'd be looking across the valley here. To our right, right up here, is Half Dome, which is kind of the iconic, whoops, wrong direction, the iconic mountain in Yosemite. Anybody climbed Half Dome before? No? It's awesome. Totally worth it. You won't be able to walk for 2 or 3 days afterward, but it's great. It's great. Actually, this building site is on the way up to Half Dome. So if you were going to do the hike, you'd walk your way up through there, up around here, and way up around the backside. And then you climb up the lower dome. If I can zoom back here. There we go. You climb up this lower dome, and then you climb up the upper dome here, which is where the little cables are that everybody freaks out over. See if we can get any pictures of those for you. Maybe not. Nope. Doesn't like me right now. Nope. Doesn't like me. No photos for now. Anyway, so we're nestled in here. When we start thinking about the building site, let me flip myself back around here a little bit. So right here, I'm looking north. So all the windows that would be on the face of the building looking down the canyon would be north windows. So I don't have to worry too much about direct sunlight coming into those windows. I can have lots of glass without a problem. I'm not going to get big heat gain on that. We're not going to have a huge amount of light because of the 2 mountains on either side of our building site. So as the sun swings around kind of where we are right now, we're going to get sun in the middle of the day, but we're going to have early sunset, so to speak, because it's going to go behind this mountain. And we'll have late sunrise because it's coming up behind this mountain. In terms of wind, there's a pretty good chance that there'll be a down canyon wind early in the morning and then an up canyon wind later in the day, just in terms of thinking of general site conditions. There is a creek on site, so you've got that. Let's switch now from this 3D view, which I encourage you to look at. If you can get the pictures to work a little bit better, it would be great if some of these 360s worked. Because it might give you a better sense of what we're looking at. There we go. Yeah, so we're down in here. We're down in here. This gives you a little bit of an idea. I would encourage you to play around, click on some of these pictures, and look at them, because it'll give you a better sense of kind of what the mountain terrain looks like as part of this. So I'm going to switch over to the other file, which is the topography file that I'm giving you. And if I double click on that, it's going to open up AutoCAD for me. And because I created the original topography file in Rhino, it pops up this warning every time that I open it. Just say continue opening. It's fine. OK, so these, like I said, these contours here are all 1 foot of elevation each. So it's not a super steep site until you get over to this side. Obviously over here going up the mountain would be a little bit steeper. The loops that are happening right along here, that's the creek that runs through the site. So this side of the site is relatively flat. This is your creek, and this is pretty darn steep over here in terms of understanding what's happening. It is downslope toward the top. So this up in here would be the highest part, and it's going down this direction. If you want today, you can start thinking about topography. If you feel uncomfortable with what's going on or this doesn't work, just start drawing your floor plan, and we'll deal with the topography a little bit later. I'm going to show you how to create the ground lines accurately based on where your building is sitting. But if you don't feel like you understand this yet, just don't worry about it. Build on this side because it's relatively flat, and we can accommodate it later on. So on this drawing, I have several layers that are set up for you. If I click on this button up here at the top that says Layer Properties, we can take a look at the layers. So right now I have a layer 0 and I have a layer for topography. I would encourage you on the topography layer here to go ahead and click this lock icon. That's right there. When you click that lock icon, it will gray out the topography and it won't let you do anything to it. Like if I were to select it and then try to delete it, it won't actually delete. So it's nice because it's kind of locked behind. I would then make your current layer, let me get this back here, the 0 layer. And we'll deal with layers in far more depth as we go forward. I'm going to do that by double-clicking right next to where it says 0. I'll double-click. You see the green check moves to layer 0. And I'll start drawing on that layer. So my topography layer is locked. There's my lock. I've double-clicked next to layer 0. There it is. And now I can start actually drawing. So I'm on layer 0. I could start with my line or my polyline tool. We could use my dynamic input is turned on. I'm going to turn ortho on so that I can only draw in 90-degree angles here. And I'd say, oh, I don't know, let's go 15 feet. And let's go 25 feet. And let's go another 15 feet. Etc. You'd start your drawing. So this isn't quite big enough the way it is in terms of square footage. You're going to have to work through your square footages and whatever. But this gives you a sense of your building's going to be a lot smaller than this big site that I'm giving you. So make sure you kind of do the math correctly. You're going to be zoomed in, and you're going to be working at a much smaller scale.
Yeah. The topo line's 1 foot?
Yes, they're 1 foot in vertical elevation. So it's not 1 foot apart from here to here. We're going 1 foot up from this line to this line, and another 1 foot up from this line to this line. If the topos don't make that much sense, don't worry about them. Just skip that part, and we'll deal with that a little bit later on. So your job today is to actually start designing, to start thinking about these spaces that are written out in part 1. Remember, your views of the canyon, your downslope views are out this direction. North is up. North is straight up in this view. So windows on this side or this side of your building are generally tall. They're going to have your big windows. You're not getting a big solar heat gain. So that's a good place to start. The other thing that I will mention about this assignment is this is not the only time you're going to be working with this particular program. So we're going to work through AutoCAD. We're going to draw floor plans and we're going to draw elevations. And then we're going to end up in assignment 106 taking this same cabin and building it in SketchUp. And you'll learn a lot and you'll evolve your design quite a bit when we move into SketchUp. So it doesn't have to be the same thing as we go forward. This is your first shot at it. Then we'll evolve it in SketchUp, make it a little bit better as we go forward. Okay? So I'll turn you loose today. You've got a lot of time to work. That's on purpose. You need to kind of resolve this floor plan because next class we'll start getting into more technical stuff like building elevations, etc. So we need that. We need kind of good development today. That's why you get 2.5 hours to work today. And then you'll be ready for what we have coming. Okay, any questions? Nope. All right, good deal.